Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Time for Q&A Sunday, and let me tell you all, we've got a lot of comments and questions to go over, so I hope you have a minute. I'm going to try to be doing a live stream with this, or a live chat, not a live stream. So it's actually Saturday evening. Just got home from visiting our brand new Costco's, and of course we overloaded the basket as we usually do, but got good stuff though. No wasted money. Everything we got is things that we'll definitely use and enjoy. So ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you very much first of all for all of you new subscribers. We've got a nice influx of new subscribers this week, and I've got a couple of channels to thank for that. Okay, first I would like to thank Iridium 242. So if you all have not gone to Iridium 242's channel, go check him out. He does a lot of reviews. He does a lot of reviews that are prepper related reviews, okay? And he's got a lot of videos up. He's been doing this for quite a while, and he was gracious enough to give me a shout out this week, and I truly appreciate it. And if you guys go over there, I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy his content. His channels are not really long. He's pretty much straight and to the point, but when you leave or when you're done watching his video, you will have learned something new. Okay, so I encourage you to go over there and check him out. The other one was a channel that I'd never heard of before. I've never come across, and it's a Prepper X, and I will show you Prepper X's thumbnail when we go over the comments, because there's a comment that Prepper X left. But Prepper X subscribed to this channel and invited me to go and take a look at their channel, and they have a great community over there. Let me tell you, they were doing a live stream, and I joined in the chat, and it was a lot of fun. And I think the live stream was like almost 2 hours that we were on. And it was an awful lot of fun. I really enjoyed being there, and I actually saw a few of you guys over there. And I know that a few of Prepper X's subscribers or community members came over here. So welcome to all of you, and thank you for coming over and joining this community. We're very happy to have you. All right, so let me go ahead and do some shout outs. Now, for those of you that have subscribed in the last week, if you don't hear me shout out your name, it's because your YouTube settings are on private. And even though you're still subscribed to this channel, I can't see you because your YouTube profile is on private. It's set on private. Now, I'm not asking you to change it. Of course, if you want to keep it private, please do so. That's up to you. But if I don't shout out your name, it's because I can't see you on here. Okay, so let's start it off. Let's start off. And if I shouted you out last week and you get another one, guess what? You're getting a 2-for-1. All right. So let's start off with Dana Mana, Deepak Sawhney, Hans McHugh. I think I shouted out Hans last week. So there you go, Hans. You got a 2-for-1. And you guys might have as well down here. Let's see. Adel J. Tadros, 19134 Chiz, Jessica Odette, Sippin' Whiskey 1. All right. Sunny Belisle or Belial. I think it's Belial, Sunny Belial. Science, or Celine, sorry about that, Celine Solis, Open Mind, Lucas Hill, Mousy Annan, Remax, Remjax 1. Let's see, the Redneck Prepper, nice name, I like that one. Trauma Jerk, a Trauma Jerk, okay. Devin Metzger, Avocapa, Nick Spittler, James Henry. Yep, that's me. George Frid, Michael Williams, Paul Gonzi, Diesel 9, Jen Famous Art, Dal Gohem or Dalgom, Rafael Del Valle, Jim Beer, Grandpa. And look, ladies and gentlemen, Grandpa has 5.7 thousand subscribers. So this is probably someone that you might want to go check out. And check out all these other guys that have a few subscribers too. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I had time to check out every single one that has a channel, but goodness, I just left a comment and community members, or I left a reply in one of the community members' comments. He invited me to go over to another channel today that's having a live stream, and I'm like, man, I don't want to say I'm getting overwhelmed, but I'm getting so many comments and questions, and I told myself that I'm going to answer every question that I get, and I'm going to read every single comment, and I'm going to try to stay true to that. I just don't know how it's going to work out when we have more and more community members join our forum. So I am doing my best, but I will try to shout out a channel here or there when I have time to go take a look. And I did take a look at Grandpa, and I believe his channel is like a music channel. So if you guys want to go take a look at it, please, by all means, go and check it out. Okay, there is one channel that I wanted to showcase today. It actually belongs to I think our newest subscriber, and I'll show you the channel here up top, because he's doing a giveaway, and I'll get to that when I get to his name up there. Okay, so next one is Nyla Aquarian. Grumpy Old Man Does Prepping. Hey, I like that one. KY Bearded Guy. And that is look at that beard, ladies and gentlemen. Is that an awesome beard or what? Old Man. EUP Alpha Wolf's Militia. All right. Diggers Outdoors. Mickey Murray. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a channel out there that if you do have a channel out there and you want me to shout you out, shoot me an email. All right, please shoot me an email. Like I said, I can't just go to every single channel and shout every single one of them out. If not, it would take me all day to do this, and I really don't have that time. But if you're really interested in getting your channel shouted out, and if you have a channel that's prepper related or related to something that we do, and you wanted to do a collaborated interview with me, that would be awesome as well. Just shoot me an email. My email address is on the description of every video that I make. Okay, OX Jaw, Southern Ark Homestead. We're definitely going to go check that one out. I haven't checked that one out yet, but that sounds good. And I saw Southern Ark Homestead over at Prepper X's channel yesterday when I was there. Okay, and Juanita King was also came over from Prepper X, and I think World Without Rule of Law also. So thank you guys so much for coming over. This is very exciting to have all of you new guys over here. Very good. Angle Heart 693 and John Rambo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to go ahead and showcase real quick John Rambo's channel, because John Rambo is doing a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Okay, and if you go over to his channel and subscribe, he has a video that gives you the rules on what you need to do to be able to enter his giveaway. And what he's giving away is a bug out bag. Okay, so it's a pretty substantial giveaway that he's doing. So if you guys want to check it out, so check this out. I'm going to go over there right now, and I'm going to subscribe right now, because I was actually over at his channel earlier today and I forgot to subscribe. So if you go to his channel, see, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that hard. Boom, check it out. I'm subscribed. There you go. All right, so if you go to his channel, he's got a video or a playlist of videos that gives you the rules on what you need to do in order to enter his giveaway. Okay, so go ahead and check him out, and if you like his channel, subscribe and enter his giveaway. And like I said, it's going to be a bug out bag, and that's a pretty good prize. All right, so let's go back. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to the new subscribers as well. I really appreciate you all taking the leap and joining our community. If you haven't realized by now that we have a really great community. I mean, when I start, I know I've said this 1,000 times for all of you community members that have been here a while, but when I started this channel, I kept in mind, and I told myself that I want to keep it a family-friendly channel. And I always tell people to please leave comments, leave recommendations, suggestions, ask questions, all that you want. And you can even criticize as long as you keep it classy. So I want to keep this a family-friendly channel that people are able to ask questions without worrying about being persecuted and getting jumped all over. Okay, so even if I see a comment where a community member is asking a question that's been asked 10 times before, I still take the time to answer it or take the time to bring it up in one of these videos, because we need to be there for each other so that we can help each other prep. And why is that, ladies and gentlemen? Because the more people that are prepped, the better it's going to be for you and me when something happens, if anything happens. Let's hope nothing ever happens where we need to use our preps. But guess what? Let's be prepared just in case we do. Okay, that's what it's all about. It's about supporting each other and about being there for each other as a community so that we can succeed in prepping. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the comments. Now, this is from the video, I believe, that I made on the interest of our national debt. And here is a good comment that I wanted to go over with you guys real quick. And it's from Gene. And Gene says, wonder if, I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase it. Wonder if it's better to start taking Social Security earlier instead of later, just in case things start to spiral downward. And personally, Gene, if Social Security is still around when I turn 62 and I'm able to collect Social Security when I'm 62, I am going to collect it as early as I possibly can. All right, I'm not going to fall for the, well, if you wait till you're 70, you can collect an extra 30% or whatever. I'm going to collect that money as soon as I can. And every month that I collect it, I will thank, I will thank the Lord that He's giving me one more month to be able to prep with some of that money that I've paid into the system. All right, because I don't know what's going to happen with Social Security in the future, whether we have a monetary reset or a economic crisis or whatever it may be. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I don't know if maybe they'll go back to something like that to at least pay back the people that have paid into the system. I have no idea. So what I'm going to do personally is as soon as I can collect any of it, I will. Okay, and guess what I'm going to do with that? That's right, gold and silver. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, let's see. John D here says the debt is $21 trillion and going up $1 trillion a year. And yes, it is. And it's forecasted that the national debt will be going up over $1 trillion a year for like the next 4 or 5 years. Okay, and I think it'll keep going up at least $1 trillion a year after that. Okay, but that's what I think. Wait until the left get into office, they will double or triple the $21 trillion debt. So the only thing I would say to that is that I don't personally think that it's a left or a right issue. I think that it's a spending issue. All right, our government is too big for its britches. All right, our government is so bloated that it cannot help but to spend money. Okay, it doesn't matter how many taxes the government collects, it will never have enough money, because the more you give it, the more it spends. All right, and as I've stated in the past, the debt has to increase every year. Not necessarily by $1 trillion, but the debt has to increase every year, or the economy will collapse. All right, because we live in what is called a debt-based economy, which means that debt has to be created in order for the economy to continue to go forward. Okay, so good comment there, John. I appreciate that. And reach one, teach one, and repeat, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Maida here says, we had no electricity for 2 days. I was just trying to explain the debt to my daughter and how we end up paying for it. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to be an expert in anything to plant a seed in someone's mind that will encourage them to go and do a little bit of research and maybe wake up. Okay, because if somebody wakes up, what does our national debt have to do with prepping? You know, someone can ask you that. What does our national debt have to do with prepping? Well, if you plant that seed in their mind, they may go and research the national debt, and then it may lead them to another rabbit hole that ultimately leads them to understand why it's so important to prep. So that's great. All right, keep reaching, Maida. That's awesome. I really enjoy seeing comments like this because it tells me that you all really care enough for one another to go out and try to wake people up. And that's what it's all about. And Gun Noob here says Social Security, like the U.S. fiat currency dollar, has always been and I think he meant Ponzi scheme. And Gun Noob says, I would be glad to stop paying Social Security and roll my balance into an IRA. Now, if I did have the opportunity to roll over my Social Security into an IRA, the only IRA I would roll it over to would be a self-directed IRA in which I can purchase precious metals in the physical form and hold it myself. And they do have those IRAs out there. They actually have IRAs where you can roll over your fiat into that IRA and use that to purchase physical precious metals that you control and that you hold in your own possession. All right, so if any of you do have IRAs, and I have to say this, all right, you know I have to say this, I am not a financial advisor. I am just planting a seed. So if any of you do have IRAs and are interested in maybe managing it yourself instead of allowing a computer algorithm to manage your retirement for you, okay, go ahead and find out how you can roll your IRA into a self-directed IRA where you can use the funds to purchase precious metals that you hold in your own possession. Okay, if any of you are interested in getting questions answered from a real financial advisor, I recommend that you all go and give Ms. Lynette Zhang a call. All right, she has a YouTube channel and it's called ITM Trading, and I think she is great at what she does, and that is what she does. She has a precious metals company where she helps people with their precious metals needs. Okay, and she, as far as I'm concerned, she is a very good person. If you guys go back several months back, I actually had the privilege of interviewing her for our channel, and I remember it well because the sound quality for that interview is pretty bad, but you can still hear what I'm saying. I did it inside my car during my lunchtime from work. So it was the only time that I was able to get time with her to do the interview. So if you guys go back to that video, I think if you type in Alaska Prepper interview with Lynette Zhang, all right, it should be able to pop up for you. But ITM Trading, that is a great YouTube channel. She has great insight on what's going on now in the economy. Okay, so I highly recommend you guys go check that out. And here, Invest for Family says, with me being on the younger side, I let them keep what I paid into Social Security as long as I didn't have to pay more. Simple math tells me I'll never see a dime back from Social Security. And you may be right, Invest for Family. You may be right. Only time will tell. And Jay Tully here says, the Federal Reserve raises rates resulting in higher interest to our debt. Funny, when O was in office, rates were extremely low. And then she says, a Republican gets in office and rates goes up. Coincidence. My spouse's main source of income is Social Security. His pension from a major aerospace company is pitiful, and a second from 20 years in another company is an absolute joke. So I have to agree with you, Jay Tully. I think that the Federal Reserve does play politics. they shouldn't play politics. In my opinion, the Federal Reserve should have absolutely nothing to do with creating what do you call it? With creating fiscal policy. Okay, they should have absolutely nothing to do with controlling our markets by controlling the rate of interest. Okay, the rate of interest should be allowed to go up and down by the market. All right, the market should decide what the interest rate is. All right, and there is a mean out there, but them controlling it, it doesn't work. Okay, because they cannot predict what the economy is going to do at any given time. So, I'll leave it at that. I'm a big proponent that the Federal Reserve should have absolutely nothing to do with our monetary policy. Absolutely nothing at all. And ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about the Federal Reserve and the economy and things like that, I tell you how I see it. However, please be assured that whenever I talk about the economy of maybe having a reset or a financial crisis that's like worse than the Great Depression, I'm not trying to scare anyone, all right? I'm just telling you the way I see it. If you look at the debt of the world today, and you look at the debt of the world back in 2008, 10 years ago, it's increased by like 5 times. Okay, and look at what happened in 2008. We had what was called a major recession. For some people, it was truly a depression, right? Because there was millions of people that lost their homes. All right, so for some people, it was truly a depression. Okay, but let's call it was a major recession. Now the debt, the world debt, is 5-7 times more than what it was back then. All right, and that's not counting the derivatives. The derivatives are in the quadrillions of dollars, all right, worldwide. The U.S. alone has over $500 billion worth of derivatives, all right. And if you want to take a look at that number, go to the video that I did where it shows the national debt clock, and you'll see on there how much derivatives we have in nominal terms, i.e. in dollar terms, and it's astounding. Okay, so not counting derivatives, the world debt right now is at, I would say, is a little over $300 trillion, all right, or probably more than that, all right, whereas the world GDP is only around 70 trillion, all right, so the world debt is well above the world GDP, and not counting derivatives, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not trying to scare anyone when I talk about this stuff, but the thing is that the fundamentals tell me that this cannot and will not go on forever. For those people that hold a lot of paper wealth, i.e. cash, or electronic wealth, i.e. that you have an IRA or whatever amount of money you may have in the bank or think you have in the bank, because it's really not there, all right? I'm not trying to scare you, but at the minimum, what I would do is, if I had a lot of wealth in paper, is I would diversify a little bit with precious metals, with food, water, i.e. preps, right? Maybe get a little bit of property here and there. The bad thing about property is that if we go into a really bad crisis, you can't pick up your property and take it with you, all right? So wherever you're at, they can increase your property taxes, all right? And then what are you going to do? Okay, so that's the only bad thing that I can see about holding on to a lot of property as a way to bring forward your wealth with you, is that it may hinder you because the city where you live may be so strapped. Look at Illinois. In Illinois, I read an article last week where Illinois is trying to pass a law that says that if you're going to sell your house and move out of state, that they're going to tax you an additional tax for selling your house because you're moving out of state. All right, so that's the one thing about having property that I kind of don't like, all right, because they can tax you as much as they want, all right, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Okay, so all right, so let's go to the next one. All right, and this is the video where okay, this was a bit of a controversial video. I understand that. And I even know that I lost a few subscribers to this video because some people just don't want to hear the truth. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this video where I covered, where I said that 262 million people have lost their lives to democide in the last 100 to 150 years, that's true. And I hope that those of you that watched the video stayed through to actually watch and see me going through the actual numbers. All right, and this is a well-documented fact. Okay, this is not numbers that I made up or try to cherry pick internet articles so that I can make this video. This is documented fact. Okay, and some people just did not like to hear that. And some people just did not like to hear that I am a very big advocate of the Second Amendment, as I feel that we should all be. Excuse me. Let's see. Okay, Eddie says, definitely something they don't want us to know or think about. Time for all good men to speak out. And that's true. I'm not sure. I don't have any children that are, in school. I mean, I have one that's being homeschooled. However, I don't know if schools are actually teaching what I went over on this video. Okay, I would think that it's an important thing to teach. So if they're not teaching these things in school, I think it's the responsibility of parents to actually teach this to their children. Now, I wouldn't be going over this kind of information with a 7-year-old. I'd probably wait until they, until their cognitive abilities to be able to think and understand why some of these things are done, is more matured. But it's something that is very important. Just like in school, do they teach about the Federal Reserve? Do they teach about how money is actually created? These are things that we as parents have to take it on ourselves to teach to our children, because they're not being taught these things in school, especially subjects like this that are somewhat touchy. I think that it's even more important to teach this to our children. And Ricky here asks, I would like to move to Alaska from Canada. Any advice in the process? I thought I left a comment to this. Maybe it didn't go through. But Ricky, if I thought I left a comment on this or a reply. It must not have gone through. So the only recommendations that I would have as far as moving to Alaska would be to make sure that you have, if you don't have a what do you call it? If you don't have like family or friends up here, right? If you don't have a support structure up here, before you move up here, really do your research on where you want to live and what kind of life you want to live. All right, and I would really highly recommend that before you moved up here that you gained employment, and or if you don't have employment before you move up here, that you move up here with a pretty good chunk of change in your pocket so that you can live for a while you're looking for a job. The cost of living up here is a bit more than down in the lower 48s, although I'm not sure what the cost of living in different parts of Canada is. So if I were to move up here, from somewhere else, moving up here on my own, I was lucky when I moved up here because the military moved me up here. Okay, so I didn't have any real out-of-pocket expenses when I moved up here, right? But if you're moving up here out of your own pocket, I would say bring a good chunk of change with you, all right? And if you don't have a support structure, then do some really good research as far as where you want to live, and if you can find a job before you come up here, then that would be a great thing to do. Now, once you move up here, let's say if you wanted to live in the bush, you can actually buy land from the state up here. I think you have to be a permanent resident, which would put you at, I believe, you would have to be living up here for at least 6 months to a year. And then you can pretty much pick whatever land you wanted to buy from the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, and the prices really aren't that bad. The farther north you move, or so the closer to the bush where there's like really no utilities, the lesser the price you're going to pay per acre. All right, so I mean, take a look at some of those things. I mean, you're just going to need some money to get up here. If you're going to come up here with no money, you're going to have a tough time. Okay, oh, here we go. Hans has a great comment. Here's an example of runaway confiscation in England, London. Be specific. To be specific, gun laws. Guns are illegal. Just recently, knives are not rounded on the end. So let me go ahead and paraphrase this, because I've read about this. So in London, they did away with guns. All right, so they passed gun control. No one can own guns. Okay, so once they got rid of the guns, what do you think happened? A whole bunch of stabbings. Guess what happened? Now they're trying to outlaw people being able to carry knives with them. All right, and they're also trying to outlaw knives that have pointed points. So they want your knives to have a rounded point now. Okay, another thing that I heard not too long ago was that in London now, if you want to get a license to drive a vehicle, that you're going to have to prove to the state or to the city that you need a license to drive a vehicle, that you need to drive from point A to point B before they give you a license. So see how it starts? It started with one thing, now it just creeped and crawled itself to where you can't even buy a darn car and drive it around without you asking for permission from the man. And that's how it starts, ladies and gentlemen. So in other words, when they confiscated the guns or made guns illegal in London, that was like the camel sticking its nose in the tent. And now, forget it. That camel's in that tent and he's tearing everything up. All right, there's nothing left for you guys over there. You guys have pretty much in London also, there's pretty much no freedom of speech. I mean, I think they just passed a law over there having to do with the internet and social media, where they're going to start taxing people or taxing the social media site for every link that a person leaves up, that a content provider leaves up in their description. So they're trying to eliminate every source of freedom that you guys have over there. All right, so it starts with one thing, and eventually you're going to ask for permission to go to the bathroom. All right, and they're going to tell you what kind of toilet paper you can use. And that's not really downing UK. I've never been there. I don't really want to be there. I like where I'm at, but it's just a fact. You know, you start giving up your freedoms, eventually don't be surprised when you have none left. And this is a great quote, and I'm sure most of you know it, but Benjamin Franklin once said, "Those who are willing to sacrifice liberty for temporary security deserve neither liberty or security." And that's the truth. Oh, there's a question. So Wendy here says, I keep forgetting to ask, what does demonize mean? I think she said she meant demonetize. And why does YouTube do it if they don't like content? So I think I said something in this video that before this video was even done uploading, YouTube had already demonetized it. So before the video was even done uploading, they had already demonetized this video. It's because YouTube is not a free platform, ladies and gentlemen. All right, everyone that thinks that YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everyone that thinks that these platforms are free, they're not. What we don't understand, or what a lot of us don't understand, is that, excuse me, what a lot of us don't, sorry about that, what a lot of us don't understand is that we may not pay money to use YouTube or to use Facebook or Twitter, but the reason we don't pay money is because we ourselves are the product. We ourselves are the product. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all these platforms, they use us to make money. Okay, so we are paying for using YouTube. We're paying for it with our privacy. We're paying for it with our self-censorship. Because trust me, that there's a lot of people out there. I don't make a living on YouTube, but there's a lot of people out there on YouTube that make a living doing YouTube videos. And do you think that they are going to be putting out content that they know is going to demonetize their video? No, they're not. So that's just a form of self-censorship. That's what these platforms do to keep you in line with the agenda or with the propaganda that they want to put out. Okay, so that's what demonetization means, Wendy. It's when either you break a guideline that YouTube has set forth for this platform. So for example, let's say that I put up a video and I show that I am euthanizing an animal, right? And then I am going to skin that animal and degut it and all that kind of stuff. YouTube doesn't really like that kind of content. So since it's not illegal to do that stuff, they probably won't delete your video, but they more than likely will not monetize your video, okay? Because it's not in line with what they want the platform to show. All right, let's go to the next one. If you guys heard that, I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's just my heater turning on. Okay, and our next video was the one where it says that the government warns about space weather affecting our satellites and our electronics. Okay, let's see how many comments we had on this one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, and Salobrena makes a good point here. She says, without sunspots, where are the solar flares coming from? I thought that the two things were connected. And then I answer to her, and honestly, I'm not an expert at this. If you guys want to know about this, visit the Oppenheimer Ranch project, all right? And most of you guys probably already know Diamond over there, all right? He is actually an expert at this kind of stuff, all right? This is what he's got a degree on. I think he has a degree in paleontology, climate paleontology, I believe it is. And he knows a lot about EMPs and about solar flares and CMEs and things like that, okay? But from what I understand is that even though we are in a solar minimum, which is a really big decrease in sunspots, that when a sunspot does occur, it has a greater chance of producing a coronal mass ejection. So, but like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. So go and watch the Oppenheimer Ranch project. He knows what he's talking about. And he does have a lot of live streams too, where he'll answer your questions. So go check that out. But the matter of fact is, ladies and gentlemen, is that, sorry about that, my wife's giving me some junior mints. The matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call the law of averages, all right? And it's not a term that I made up. But the law of averages says that if something can happen, it is very possible that it's going to happen at some point. Now, the last major coronal mass ejection or solar flare that hit this Earth, and I mean a major one that really caused a lot of damage, was the Carrington event back in 1859. And it is said through the records of time, you know, going back hundreds and thousands and years, stuff like that, that a massive coronal mass ejection happens about every 150 years or so. So we are right around that time frame. So it's been a little bit over 150 years since we had the last major coronal mass ejection. Now, I know that a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we had a major coronal mass ejection, but it missed the Earth by about 2 weeks. Okay, so I don't know if that counts. And what is said about that last CME is that that was a CME that was much bigger than the one that occurred during the Carrington event. All right, so I don't know if that CME counts as to being a major massive CME, you know, since it's already been more than 150 years. But the laws of averages say that eventually a massive CME will hit the earth. It just, eventually it will happen. Will it be in our lifetimes? Nobody can really say, all right? Nobody can really say. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's why we prepare. We prepare because we don't know. All right. If we knew exactly what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, we wouldn't have to prep. We would just wait for a few days or a week or a month before the event was going to happen, and we'd prep. All right. And that's if we could fight off the crowds at the grocery stores. So that's why we prep. Oh, yes, and I'm glad that Salobrena, thanks. I actually got a couple of links from a couple of people. I remember on this video I said that there's a great book out there called 1 Second After. And I listened to it on YouTube years ago. And then a year or two back, I think I remember trying to listen to it again. I couldn't find it. But it's up there again. So I do believe that on the top of this video, I pinned, let me take a look. Salobrena. Yes, on the top of the video here, if you guys see it, I pinned the link to parts 1 and part 2. And go ahead and listen to that book, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of my favorite books. I mean, you really learn a lot from that book on what can really happen during a grid down, a long-term grid down. Okay, so let's take a look. And Buzz here saying that unless a CME travels faster than light, that we would have time to prepare in a way. A CME does not travel faster than light. There are different speeds that coronal mass ejections or solar flares travel at, and we should be able to get some kind of an alert on when it's going to hit the earth if it takes off. Depends on whether the officials tell us or not. All right, but I firmly believe that if something like that did happen, that channels like the Oppenheimer Ranch Project or channels like the Ice Age Farmer or Adapt 2030, all right, would let us know about it. Oh, Nomadic Hunter here mentioned that Patriots by James Wesley Rawls is another one of those awesome novels about survival. And it is. And here on Patriots is a novel about survival due to an economic collapse. All right. And it's a great series. James Wesley Rawls has a few books that he's put out. The ones that I've read and listened to, because I've read the books and listened to the audiobooks, are Patriots. He's got another one called Survivor. And he's got another one called Founders. And those all revolve around the same characters. And all of those books are outstanding books. I highly recommend that you guys check them out if you haven't listened to them or heard them. All right, let's see if we can find another one. Yes, and Jay Tully here says the follow-up to 1 Second After is also available on YouTube. It is. It's called 1 Year After. Okay, so if you guys have listened to 1 Second After, the follow-on is 1 Year After. And I do believe that there is no, I don't believe, I know, because I've listened to it. I just forgot the name. There is a third book that's a follow-up to 1 Year After. Okay, no, it's not 2 years after. But there is a third book that's a follow-up to 1 Year After. And they're all really, really good. I highly recommend those books. All right, let's see if we can go on to the next one, ladies and gentlemen, because I really don't want this to be extremely long. Although we are going to be doing this live chat. Hopefully we'll have several of you all join in tomorrow morning, even though it's a Sunday, so a lot of people may be at church. So if you are, that's all good. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, before I forget, thank you very much for everyone that participated in Saturday's live chat, all right, where I did the video about the 5 B's of prepping. That was a lot of fun, all right. We made a new record. I think we had at one time like 45 people in there. I think that's awesome. That is awesome. So thank you guys for joining in. All right, and lots of thanks to you, Kanzi, for putting up these links. Awesome. I've actually listened to the book already again since you put these links up, so I appreciate that. All right, next one. Let's see what we got here. This is the one. Oh yeah, this is my Black Friday video. This is my Black Friday video. I think I did really well. And actually, I think I might be going to the range next week. Let's see. Oh, hey, here, another good channel to take a look at, ladies and gentlemen. Dark Age Ramblings, all right? If you haven't heard me shout out Dark Age Ramblings, he's actually just started out with his YouTube channel. And it's also covering the Grand Solar Minimum. So if you want to have another view on the Grand Solar Minimum, go check out Dark Age Ramblings. It says here that he's getting a beehive starter kit at his local Wilco, and that's good. I plan on getting a beehive setup, but not until after I have my garden. I heard that if you have a beehive close to your garden, that it helps to jump up your production, your vegetable and produce production from that garden. So it makes sense that it does. But up here in Alaska, I know that there's a way of being able to keep bees well insulated. But most people that I talk to in the area that actually have beehives, they say that they just let the bees take off in the winter. Pretty much they just let them die because it's so difficult to keep them alive because it gets so cold. So every year they end up buying a new, they get on the internet actually and they order their bees off the internet. It comes with a queen and then several other bees, and then they use those to produce honey during the non-winter season. And the honey around here is very good, by the way. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing that, but everything in time. Hopefully we still have a little bit more time to prepare. So everything in time. Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that was the best sale that I've run into as far as getting brass. Those prices were just outstanding. I only wish I had more money to go get some more, because I got the most that I got was 9mm brass, all right, ammo, and I ended up paying 12.5 cents per bullet, and that is just a great price, all right. I think that's a really good price. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be going out to the range here. Hopefully next week, and I'll go out to the range and put a few hundred rounds down range with my 9mm. All right, hey, welcome, World Without Rule, welcome. Thank you for coming over, and thanks again to the Prepper X channel for shouting my channel out and giving some of their members an opportunity to come over here and check this channel out. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. How can you say this is not a great community? Look at this. Look at this stream of chatting. Look at this. It started here, right? And look at this. Everyone has just got something to say, and it's always something positive, right? And that's what I like about it. If you go to some other channels, you'll notice that there's a lot of expletives and a lot of people just putting other people down. And what good is that? What good does that do? To me, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't do anyone any good. You know, here we have productive conversations. We have people who ask questions, and plenty of people who are willing to answer the questions. You know, and I think it's a great community that we have here. So I truly do appreciate your guys' input, and I appreciate your guys' participation in all of this. All right, we make this community a great community, and I truly do believe that. Yes, Jamie T. Brass and lead are also two of my favorite precious metals. All right, they truly are. Practice, 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 ladies and gentlemen. You can't practice unless you spend a few dollars on some ammo. Okay. If you know anyone that has a pea shooter, you'll know that they probably spent more money on the ammo than what they actually spent on the firearm. Right? So, and that's the right answer, by the way. That is the right answer. If you have a pea shooter, you should spend a lot more money on, you know, on ammo, practicing with that pea shooter, than what you spend on that pea shooter. All right? Because you need to practice. All right, and I forgot who it was that mentioned it, but it's called muscle memory. When you do the same thing over and over and over again, when you draw that firearm, when you draw that pea shooter, and you draw it over and over and over again, it becomes second nature. That's why in the military, training is so tedious, because you do the same thing over and over and over again. And after you did it 100 times, you're going to do it another 100 times. To when you actually have to fall back on that training, you don't even think about, you know, doing it. You just do it. And it really does work, ladies and gentlemen. I can attest to that. When you really have to fall back on your training, you just do it. You don't even have to think about it. And that's called muscle memory. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that I've seen this here, I'm going to leave my Amazon link on a comment like I did here. If you could please support the channel by using my Amazon link. For those of you that are not familiar with it, I'm going to take a few seconds to explain. So if you click on this link, on the Amazon link, it'll take you to Amazon, all right? The only difference is that whatever you buy from Amazon while using this link, okay, whatever you buy, you're not going to pay any more or any less for it. You're going to pay the same price that you were going to pay before. But if you use my link, Amazon will actually credit the Alaska Prepper channel with anywhere from 1 to 4 to 5% of what you spent in their store to the channel. Okay, and it may not be a lot in many cases. Most of the times it's like 1%, but all of those pennies add up, and it allows me to continue to do giveaways, and it also allows me to continue to do reviews on different things. Okay, so if you could please support the channel by using the Amazon link, I would truly appreciate that, especially now that it's the shopping season, and a lot of people do their shopping from Amazon. So I'd appreciate it if you do use the link. And while I'm at it, I might as well add that if you want to support the channel, you can also support it by just letting 1 or 2 of the ads play through. And I have awesome community members, because every time that I bring this up, I have a few of them saying, I always let all your ads play through. And I truly appreciate that. I mean, I truly do. Please do not let any ads that are like 5-10 minutes play through. Please just press skip. All right. When I say let ads play through, if you have like a 15-30 second ad, or even if you have like a 1 minute ad and you need to go get a cup of coffee or a drink or something, I appreciate it, and the community appreciates it as well. Right. It's the way that I'm able to get funded to be able to do giveaways. Okay. I'll say this for the new subscribers, because those of you that have been here for a while have probably heard me say this several times. So bear with me, please. But for the new subscribers or the new community members, I'm not doing this to become rich, okay? I'm doing this because I want to wake people up to the fact that they need to start prepping, okay? And if it takes me doing some giveaways so that more people can come on and hear the message and maybe reach one, teach one, and repeat, you know, maybe they share the message with someone else that's not prepping. If we can make more preppers out of this, you know, if I can do giveaways and it will result in more people coming on board and more people starting to prep, it's a win-win situation for all of us, okay? So like I said before, I'm not doing this to become rich, but I also don't want this to cost me money, okay? In the beginning, it did cost me some money because I did a few giveaways that I did out of pocket, but that's fine because I truly enjoy doing this. But it's just awesome that I can do giveaways with money that I earned because you guys are willing to do these little things, like maybe press on my Amazon link or let a couple of ads run through. In addition to that, since I'm already on this trend right here, let me finish it off by saying that if you're all interested in purchasing some precious metals, I do have a link to SD Bullion, and it is in my description of every video. All right, and what'll happen is that if you purchase something from them, they will credit the Alaska Prepper channel with a set amount. Okay, so for everyone that goes on there, for everyone that registers with them and purchases something, they'll send a kickback my way. All right, and what I'm gonna do with those funds is, if I get any revenue from SD Bullion because people are using that link and registering with them and purchasing, I'm gonna use those funds to give away silver. Okay, so if I do a silver giveaway in the future, it's because people have been using that link. All right, so I also appreciate that as well. Okay, so let's go on to our last video, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you hanging in there for that impromptu commercial that I did. All right, so thank you. All right, so this is our last video, ladies and gentlemen, and I think this is the one that I did yesterday. So this is Saturday's video, and let me tell you, I do believe that we got a whole bunch of comments on this one. Let's take a look. So let's go ahead and go through this one. Oh, let's see. Is it going to... Well, I think maybe that's it. I don't want my computer to freeze up here. There we go. Okay, yeah, we did get a whole bunch, right? So let's check it out. Okay, well, look at that. It looks like we got a new subscriber just a few minutes ago. 27 minutes ago. Sunny Belize. Oh, I think I did shout you out, Sunny. Well, let's see. Here it says, great video, AP. Since I've just joined the community, I'm going to find and check out your Pantry tour video because I'm struggling to organize mine and search for any ideas that will make the job easier and set up more efficient. Thanks for another prepping lesson. Thank you very much, Sunny, for that comment. And let me just go ahead and make a quick reply on that comment. I won't have to write it down. So, man, I wish I remember who it was that said this. I think it's up here in one of the comments. But someone commented today or yesterday that you need to prep what you eat and eat what you prep. And that is very important, okay? So taking that into consideration, when you set up your pantry, try to set it up in a way that you can use that as a working pantry, okay? You try to set it up in a way that you can actually rotate your foods, all right? So that you can take the oldest date out and put the newest date in, okay? That way you'll always have a rotating supply of dates, all right, of foods that have the oldest date in the front and the newest dates in the back, all right? That way you'll get the most longevity out of your preps, okay? So you may want to set it up something like that. The only foods that I don't do that I don't really do a rotate with is my long-term food storage. So I have a whole bunch of 5-gallon buckets and Mylar bags, and most of it is just grains: rice, beans, wheat berries, oats, things like that. I have some sugar, salt, things like that. On those, I just label what it is and what year it was, and I just put it down there. I don't plan on using those unless things get pretty rough. And if things don't get pretty rough in 30 years, I'll probably start using them. okay, or donating them to charity or something like that. All right. But yeah, if you're going to set up your pantry, you want to determine what kind of pantry is it that you're going to have. Is it all for long-term food storage? Is it going to be a workable pantry where you're going to be working out of, where you're going to need to make sure that you rotate your food? That way, it doesn't go too long past its expiration. All right, so those are some things that you may want to consider. Thanks again for subscribing, Sonny. It's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you very much for the question. Okay, so John Houchin, how you doing, John? He says, I was put down by extended family members over Thanksgiving again. LOL, doesn't bother me at the least. I smile and go about my business. And I'm assuming, John, that you're saying that you were put down by extended family members because they think you're probably nutty for prepping. Well, that's okay. That's okay, John. I tell you what, you're doing the right thing, all right? And if you have a family, if you have a wife and children, don't care about what anyone says, all right? You make sure that you take care of your wife and your children, all right? That's your job. Make sure that they're safe. Make sure that they have what they need in order to survive, and you don't care about what anyone says. When the day comes that you have to fall back on your preps, and these other people don't have preps, if you have it in your heart to give charity, that's up to you, all right? I personally do prep to be able to give charity, all right? But it has to be done in a constructive manner. I'm not just going to hand out free food out of my front door, if something like that ever happens. I'll do it constructively in a way where people don't really know where the food is coming from. You can leave food in someone's front doorsteps without them seeing you in the middle of the night, okay? Things like that. But you do what you have to do, all right? You just do what you know is the right thing to do for you and your family, okay? Because ultimately, it is your responsibility to make sure that your family is taken care of, okay? So, keep your head up, all right? And you do what you have to do. I think it's better for you to get criticism from other people than for you to give into their criticism and not prepare. So good for you. Hello, Tony. Flash Frunk. Oh, here it is. Grumpy Old Man. He's the one that said that. This is a great comment. Prep what you eat what you prep. Even FEMA is telling people to, at the very least, have 3 days of food and water. The best thing to do to even start to prepare. You should think of what can and does happen in your area. Start with that. Do you have to leave the area? Do you have to go to a FEMA shelter? If you have questions, there is a lot of people that are willing to help you understand how and what you might need. But do not be afraid to ask questions. And that is a great comment. All right? If you don't ask a question because you're too proud, then you are wrong. Okay? That is what we are here for. All right? Every one of us, that is what we are all here for. All right? Is to help each other out. So thank you very much, Grumpy. That is a great comment. All right, what else we got here? Is this a... Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think this is a stream of comments. This is just people talking over here. That's awesome. Oh, I love this. I love this Pikachu comment. Listen to this, guys. This right here is promising. Well, what can I do when you're living with your parents? I'm 18. So here, Truther Pikachu is 18 years old and lives with his parents, and he's a prepper. He or she, all right? I don't know if it's a he or she. So, first of all, I think it's awesome that you are 18 years old and you have the mindset, all right, and the foresight to be a prepper. That is wonderful, okay? That is outstanding, all right? And the reply that I left there is similar to this. Audrey Stewart says, store in totes under your bed, okay? And that's pretty much what I told Pikachu. I said, use the space under your bed to store, foods, all right? And being that you're 18, I don't know what your financial situation is, but if you take a look at some of my payday preps, you'll be able to get a pretty good idea of what you can buy that will prep long term, that is not very expensive, that has a lot of calories, right? Like rice, beans, flour, sugar, salt, things like that, okay? And you can store a lot under your bed, Pikachu. Okay, so you can store a lot under your bed. And those are some things you can do. You can use your closet. There's a lot of wasted space in closets, all right? People don't think about that as well, all right? So do that as well. So, hey, Pikachu, thank you very much. I appreciate you being part of the community. I hope that you stay on with us for a long time and fill us in on your progress, all right, as you progress along, all right? Mama Bear says, Thrive Life freeze-dried stores for 25 years. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about Thrive Life. I haven't tried it yet. I really need to. I also heard someone or saw someone leave a comment about Valley Foods, I believe it was. And I think I'm going to buy some of the Valley Foods and try them out. And maybe do some videos on that. And Thrive Life too. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you the truth, it's probably going to have to wait till the new year, because Alaska Prepper is working on Christmas, all right, and he's also working on a birthday that's coming up for a Little Miss Prepper, okay, for a Little Miss Alaska Prepper. She has got a birthday coming up, so Alaska Prepper is going to have to use some of his personal resources to fund these items. All right, so it'll probably have to wait till the new year. John Corner says, here in the UK we don't have guns, so I'm prepping to go old style, axes and other such like tools. Hey, whatever it is that you need, John Connor or Corner, whatever you need to defend yourself and your family and your preps, you do what you have to do, all right? And I mean, I really mean that. You do what you have to do. You do not want to have a house full of preps so that somebody that's bigger than you can come and take it away from you. All right? Not at all. Thank you, LaDonna. That's a nice comment. LaDonna says, I'm very impressed. You have covered essentials. Keep up the great work. People really need to listen to this advice. And thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. And Maida, you're so sweet. Listen to this. Maida says, great video. I sent some more people to watch this video. I really hope they listen and sub to the channel. Thank you very much. Maida is awesome. Keith S. here says, thanks for getting back to the basics. We need these just like a drill sergeant drilling the basics into us for the muscle memory, so when the time comes, you're ready. My baby goat is doing fine. Hey, Keith S. Has a couple of goats, and he's got a baby goat that was born not too long ago. That's pretty cool. Hello, Desi. Okay, and Jamil Foster, I love your videos. I'm moving to Anchorage soon. I want to know where I can get some of those silver bars. So Jamil, I think I left you a reply down there that what I would do is, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what, I promote the SD Bullion link because I want to earn revenue so that I can do more giveaways, especially with that revenue. I want to give away silver. However, this is what I recommend, all right? I hate saying recommend, all right, because I'm not an advisor, all right? But this is what I do, all right? This is what I would do if I was someone, if I was James, all right? Yes, I want you to use the link, but I think it's more important to find a local coin shop in your area than to buy from a business from the internet. Okay, SD Bullion is very trusted. They're a great company. All right, and I would love it if you guys went over there and bought stuff from them. But I would first scout out a local coin shop where you can actually go and do a transaction with another human being, all right, and get to know their name, and they get to know your name, and you get to have a relationship, all right? The people where I go to my coin shop, they already know me. I'll call them on the phone and they'll know who it is without me saying my name. And I'll say, hey, what spot today? What are you guys charging for this or that today? And I'm like, hey, can you have 10 of those ready for me today? I'll come and pick them after work, and they'll have them ready for me, all right? And it's great to have a relationship with these people because, number one, you can trust them, all right? I've never had anything bad from these people. And I've even asked them on several occasions, hey, can you put this silver bar on the tester? They have a machine that tests the precious metals and tells you what purity it is. And on several occasions, I was like, hey, can you put this silver bar on the tester so I can check it out? And they're like, yeah, sure, put it on the tester, no problem. Can you put this 10th ounce of gold on the tester? No problem, all right? You want to build a relationship with these people. That way, if you ever have to sell your precious metals back to them, they already know who you are, they already trust you, and they will more likely give you a better price, all right? Like when I go over there and when I go to my coin shop and I get silver from them, he usually gives it to me at about 50 cents less than what he would charge someone else, because I go there, on a pretty, on a pretty consecutive basis. I go there a lot, okay? And when I say a lot, I mean like maybe once a month or every 2 weeks I'll go there and stop buy a little something, all right? So that's what I recommend. I recommend that you first find a coin shop in your area. If you cannot find a coin shop where you can build a relationship with someone there, then by all means, go and purchase some precious metals from an online store, okay? And I know that Provident Metals is an online store that I've dealt with a lot. They are very good. However, their prices really are not as good as SD Bullion. I actually did a comparison between both of them, and SD Bullion actually says that they have the best prices around, and I guess I have to believe it because I did do some price matching between SD Bullion and Provident, and SD Bullion's prices are a lot better than Provident's prices. I have to say, I was kind of surprised, but they are. All right, I think we're getting to the end here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we have some comments here, but they were just purely comments. So thank you very much, everyone, for all of your input. I mean, this was a great... I'm very happy with everything here. I'm very happy with the way that our community is building itself up, because it's quality. We have quality people here in this community. We have quality people. I'm not gonna lie. There's been 2 or 3 times where I've had to actually block people from being able to post comments on this channel because they were very, very disrespectful, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not against criticism, but I do like to, hold up a certain standard of respect where we can respect each other. And that's what I appreciate a lot, is that we can respect each other, we can help each other, and we don't have to agree with each other. There's been several times where people disagree with what I said, and they told me why, but they were respectful, and we were able to talk it out and actually came out to really good conclusions. Okay, so I'm very excited that we are actually building a great community of people that have mutual respect for each other and that are really willing to help out when it really counts. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, let me go ahead and sign off. I'm not sure exactly how long I've been blabbing on here, but hopefully we are doing a little bit of a live chat right now as you're listening to this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and premiere this for tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, 8 o'clock Alaska time, 8 a.m. Alaska time. So hopefully we'll have some of you join in. If not, I understand that tomorrow is Sunday, and people usually have plans on Sundays, and it's important to do that because usually it's planned with family. However, if you are here now and you're joining me, thank you very much for joining in. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for everything. Let me go ahead and sign off, because you know that I'll blab on forever if you let me. So having said that, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one and teach one and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.